Trematon, within its castle walls, is a myriad of different worlds within a world. It's hard to sort of spot a stain on an animal print. We don't really believe in rules. I'm Frieda Gormley, and this is Drake, and this is how I live with style. I've been living at Trematon for the past 8 years with my husband Javvy and with our 2 teenage children. We moved from Hackney, where we had a little postage stamp backyard, to becoming the guardians of this beautiful 9-acre estate where nature is the protagonist. 8 years ago, in one of our summer holidays, we spent a lovely Saturday morning just wandering around the gardens and just thinking, wow. A few days later, back in London, got a call asking would we perhaps be up for taking on its lease. It didn't take long for us to say a big yes to the call of the adventure. Cornwall is said to have microclimates, and Trematon certainly does. Tropical plants thrive here. We commissioned Bellerby globe makers to create a globe of the place. People who come here and it's their first time, they quite like to sort of almost give it a spin and close your eyes and see where your finger lands. Trematon was built originally in 1068, Norman times. One of the past owners installed the Indian pool. I give thanks to those owners every single day because it's so special. You'd never feel like you're in Cornwall down there. I really love the natural palette of the blue water with the blue sky and just surrounded by both sort of ancient trees and newer palms. When you're sunbathing, you have this incredibly old view of a Norman keep, which in William the Conqueror's time would have protected the neighbouring villages, is now home to our chickens who live in their own chicken castle. The garden here really is the protagonist. She's our muse, and we have just tried to bring her into the house through the prints and palettes. This room is what would traditionally have been called the drawing room. I like to think of it as the living room because it feels so alive. You've got these incredible floor-to-ceiling Georgian windows, which just leaves in the beautiful views from each side, so the garden really feels like it's in the room. Nature is a great example of how to do maximal colour, maximum print really well while keeping it quite calm. We decided to keep this room really about our favourite colour, which is green, but within the room itself, there's a huge spectrum. There's everything from neon zingy greens to limes to grass greens and sort of jadeite colours. Similar to what you'd see in a flower bed, all those different greens coexisting really beautifully side by side. The overall impact of actually focusing on one colour palette, even if there are lots of different prints, is that it is quite calming. We had a lot of fun with the ceiling rows in this room. We commissioned some decorative painters to create these templates which allowed them to expand on the original flower. We created our own curtain pelmets to mimic the castle walls and I suppose speak to the fairy tale, otherworldly mood of the estate. This turreted effect you'll see sort of as a recurring motif throughout the house. You'll see it in the sofa that my husband Javvy designed in the library next door. It's the idea of like quite a mid-century modular sofa, but using the castellations as the basis of the design. You'll see it in the beds and you'll see it in the kitchen as well. Here we are in the Trematon kitchen. This here is my husband Javvy.
Living in this house, we've been staring at this beautiful Isambard Brunel bridge, which you can see out there, the viaduct. We were looking at sort of creating designs for the house, for the tables, the mirrors, the furniture, the side tables. Arches are a really beautiful, simple shape. There's no actually nails, glue or anything, it's just pegged together. It's beautiful old oak. Our brand is about regeneration and moving forward into new materials. This is an ancient way of making furniture, sort of mirroring everything.
This is the downstairs loo at Trematon, and it's actually one of my favourite rooms. I think you could have a lot of fun with a small space. On the walls, you've got one of our new prints called Overstory. You sort of feel like you're in this Narnia-esque Tolkien woodland. This glass light I love because it resembles, I think, a glass snakeskin. I bought it quite recently on Venterior, which is probably my favorite shop apart from our own. The texture of the glass riffs off the hemp blind and the marble sink. I've always been quite a big antique shopper. I get that from my granny, who knew the first name of every antique dealer in Dublin, and she would visit them on her motorbike. The art that you see up here is paying homage to one of my favorite local artists called Pete Wood. And what I love about Pete is that all his paint is made from the pigments of the local lands. And I think the prints work really well with the leopard print carpet. I'm a huge fan of the French interior designer Madeleine Caston, who used to swathe her homes in leopard carpet. So it's been a real dream to install it at Trematon. Along with looking both chic and a little bit rock and roll, it's also so practical. It's hard to sort of spot a stain on an animal print carpet or piece of furniture, which is why we've always had a trusty animal print sofa on the go since our kids were little. Let me show you my bedroom. This desk here is the very first piece that I ever bought at auction. It's a piece of furniture that has followed me around, starting from my first house share to all the different homes along the way and different stages of life, I suppose. A lot has been written at this desk. I've actually just finished my first book, In the Company of Nature. I would say the bedroom is a bit of a shrine to some of my favorite things. Lots of pictures of my family, of the kids growing up, of grandparents, ancestors, cute things that the kids have collected on beach walks, etc. You've got David Bowie in the corner there, keeping an eye on me, and William Morris, whose prints adorn so many rooms in this house, but they're both, in their own way, huge inspirations to me. You know, their art, but also, I suppose, how sort of creatively disruptive they were. There are 9 bedrooms in the house. We occupy 3 of them as a family, and the rest are generally guest rooms. They actually get occupied quite a bit. We love people coming to stay. I've probably had the most fun decorating the guest rooms. I think a little bit like small spaces, because you can be a bit more playful with them and they're a treat for guests to stay in. Personally, I love quite an earthy, muted palette, but done through print. Then you'll see a room like my daughter's. She's now just a couple of years into her teens, and we toy with talking about changing it, but I think she's also quite loath to change it too. It's still such a cute room. Thanks so much for coming to visit us at Trematon. I hope you've enjoyed the tour. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Times Style on YouTube.